Africa is on X.
At Africa Melane.
8 minutes now, it is to 5 o'clock. Some people make the choice that, you know what, my daytime job is not rewarding me in any way whatsoever. I'm not earning enough. I'm going to cash out, purchase a vehicle, and get onto the e-hailing service. Others are forced into that scenario because perhaps they've been retrenched or whatever the case may be. Is this a smart side hustle? Or is it a risky bet? Joining me on the line is Michael Pashut. Michael is the owner and founder of changecars.co.za. Michael, a very good morning and welcome to the show.
And a very good early morning. I'm about to order an Uber. What a coincidence. Hope you're well.
Very well. Thank you very much. When I read this figure, I was actually surprised, and I don't know why, that the e-hailing economy in South Africa is estimated to involve up to 70,000 vehicles. When you think that a lot of the e-hailing services are in the main in the urban centers, so it will be Cape Town, to be Joburg, to be Pretoria, it will be parts of Ekurhuleni. I imagine Durban has some, as does PE and East London. That is a hell of a lot of cars, isn't it?
It is, but what people must remember, and this is what is interesting, e-hailing now is the norm in South Africa. If I say to you, and the host being asked a question, how long ago, if I asked you, did e-hailing come to South Africa? What springs to mind? 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, roughly how long?
I remember hearing about Uber Black for the first time because that's when you were rolling in it, right?
Correct.
They still wore suits. You had mints and water at the back of your in the back seat. You know what I mean? Like they treated you properly. I reckon it should have been 2014, 2015 when I first heard of Uber Black.
Very good. 2013. So where am I going with the question? It's taken 13 years for it to become a major economic driver in this country. The figure of 70,000, I won't lie to you, I wasn't aware it was that high, but it's very possible. And it just shows you how important it is to the consumer, easing traffic, and an incredible business opportunity. Remember, for many years, people have been in the property market, buy a property, rent it out. It's an economic driver again. So I believe if you are looking to get into this industry, very good opportunity and good money to be made, because there is good money to be made as an owner, renting it out to the right driver.
And that is key, isn't it? Because if you are the owner, and my understanding the process is, Michael, I'm employing you as my driver to drive my car, and you'll take care of the fuel and your own data. I want X amount at the end of the week as my target. Is that how it still works when it comes to an owner-driver relationship?
Correct. So remember as well, a lot of the owners that own a car renting it, let's look at me as an example, and I genuinely don't own any Ubers, but I want to rent a vehicle to a driver. My installment on that vehicle, because I don't have the cash to buy it cash, okay? So I put it on finance. And my installment is 5,700 Rand. That is my base cost. I need to get 7,200, 7,700, whatever the case may be, my profit on that. So it's not a case of that everything that the owner does is pure profit. You've got to remember, he's also got his own expense. So again, there is a risk, but that's why you need to find the right driver. And sadly, I do know of certain people that have got into this industry and also lost money. Why? They've trusted somebody that on paper looked the part. Meanwhile, their customer hasn't paid. And of course, they've lost money because they've got that monthly installment.
And it's been such a contributor to our economy that many of the vehicle manufacturers have almost designed vehicles for the purposes of e-hailing and have even come up with financing options for people who want to get into the business.
Such a valid point. And again, I've got a smile on my face. I've been in the motor trade for 35 years. Now, 5, 6, 7 years ago, little sedans, and when I say sedans, not hatchbacks, sedans were a thing of the past. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, sedans were very common. Sedans were making an exit. then you made the point that certain OEMs, manufacturers, have produced cars specifically for the e-hailing services. No question. Affordable, entry-level cars, something like your Honda Amaze, as an example, your Proton Saga, your Suzuki Ertigas now in the 7-seater, specifically entry-level products for this type of business. It is an incredible economic driver. To the best of my knowledge, we've got what? Uber and we've got Bolt in South Africa. Anybody new that you know of besides those two?
No.
Yeah. But I mean, they are major international companies. You're not talking about, and again, positively, not condescendingly, you're not talking about South African startups. You're talking about major international companies. At the top of the interview, you said the major metropoles. Where the e-hailing services are making an even bigger difference is in your smaller towns, your Pietermaritzburg, your Queenstown, your Nelspruit. These are peripheral main towns. And they've got these services there to the communities that operate in those towns. Incredible. Incredible from a consumer point of view, i.e. that I've got e-hailing available to me, and an incredible economic driver, as we keep saying, for the people working in those communities that, wow, here's another business that I can get into. I'm a huge, huge fan, as you can see.
I would imagine if you're working in those smaller towns, you're more likely to make more money than if you're working in the major urban centers. Because I know in a city like Cape Town, for example, it might be the case that we have an oversupply of e-hailing services. I read somewhere that we have up to 13 different companies offering e-hailing services who have been officially issued with operating licenses by the relevant authorities.
Incredible if you say 13. So let's go back to the first part of your statement. I've always personally believed, and I say it respectfully, the opposite. Your short trip are where the vehicle is using the most fuel, and it's very small money. So, for example, just look at Johannesburg. Sandton to OR Tambo Airport would be a great trip. Sea Point to Cape Town International Airport would be a great trip. Sea Point to Greenpoint. How much money is there to be made in that incredibly short trip of 18, 20 rand? So it's an interesting, and I'd love to hear from the e-hailing people themselves. Is it better to do the open road trips, when I say open road, getting on the highway, going to the airport, or the domestic trip? It will be interesting to hear.
Absolutely. You've hailed your Uber, so get on your business and your day, Michael. Thank you very much for joining us today. Michael Pashut is the owner and founder of changecars.co.za. That's changecars.co.za. Talking to us about e-hailing. Is it a smart side hustle or a risky bet? If you are in the business, do let me know.